In the very beginning of this creepy video from India, a man is riding on a motorcycle and then he's suddenly on foot. So I guess he must have broken down in the middle of nowhere and has to walk to the nearest town. After a while, he sees somebody else and is relieved to find help. But when he gets a better look, his hope does not last. The woman is wearing long white robes and holds her arms bent in a weird stance. The two do not speak and the man knows that she is not normal, so he doesn't even try. As she advances, he notices her face is abnormally gaunt and pale, the face of a zombie or someone close to their end. And the scary woman is making creepy noises too, barely human ones at that. She is not very coordinated and he keeps backing away to create more space, more amazed at this strange sighting than necessarily scared. The best look we get at her face is around 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Some say that this is a demon sighting caught on tape, and she has large dark circles under her eyes like a possessed woman, though I suspect it could be special effects makeup. He slowly backs away without taking the camera off her for a minute, never letting her slip out of his sight until he presumably reaches help in the next town. This CCTV video was taken after hours at a business in Ogden, Utah. All is quiet until a full-speed plate dives out of a cabinet and shatters all over the break room floor. A security guard on patrol walks over and simply stares at the broken plate for over 10 full seconds before grabbing another to verify what just happened. Neither one can think of a proper explanation. They check the shelf and it looks fine. Let me know if you have any explanation for this video besides the paranormal. Unless the whole video is fake and someone off camera pulled a string, then I have no idea how that plate could have fallen. This video was taken from a waiting station at the Islamabad International Airport in Pakistan. Any strings attached to this chair would be easy to see on the bright and reflective cement floor, but I don't see any, and the chair slides across the room without anyone in sight. It looks like it might be getting pulled by someone off camera here at the 33-second mark, but then it does a 360 all of its own somehow. So that theory is pretty much debunked. There's also no way for magnets to work from beneath a solid concrete floor, so I have no idea how this was done. It's a little past 3 AM, and this video is about to get weird, so I'll try to explain things as best I can. For a second, the doorbell camera goes out of focus, and then this weird thing floats across. Not an orb, not a bug, not a bird, no wings that I can see. It's just a big out-of-place anomaly that the uploader of this video was unable to explain, and I fear I can't do much better. If you've seen anything like this go across your Ring doorbell camera or any other doorbell cameras, then explain what this object floating by was. I'm not the only one who would like to know. This security camera footage taken from inside a Reddit user's home doesn't seem to be anything unusual, that is, not at first, although the house looks as peaceful and as quiet as can be. In just a matter of seconds, something both eerily mysterious and also quite creepy occurs that the original uploader cannot explain. So I think this is, for starters, what they're talking about. It doesn't exactly look like an orb, but it's kind of got like a trail that it's leaving behind. What the heck is that? That is so weird. It's just sort of leaving behind a trail of itself. You kind of just see it's like it's the same shape, just sort of over and over again, leaving a trail behind it as it flies across the screen. And then at the very end just sort of completely drops to the ground. Even though this kind of video could probably be described as a little more unsettling than straight up scary, it is definitely not the kind of footage you would want to find on your security camera upon waking up and reviewing whatever was filmed while you were asleep. The strange floating white object almost looks like it could be some sort of spinning battery-powered toy, but I feel like if that were the case, the parents would ask their kid if it was their toy and the mystery would be solved. But since the uploader is still baffled by the footage, I think it's safe to say that it was not a toy. Whatever it is remains a mystery. A YouTuber named Roy Flores has a strange encounter over the skies of New Jersey when he sees a mysterious aircraft hovering near the overpass he's driving on.
Look, the whole street is stopped. There's a flying spaceship.
And he's not the only one who sees it. Dozens of other cars have pulled over and people are getting out to take video of this strange phenomenon with their cameras, each wondering if this is the moment we finally made contact. A Goodyear blimp is the official explanation for this scary event, but I have serious doubts. I mean, you'd think all these people would know the difference between a blimp, which we've all seen, and something truly bizarre instead. A lot of people are saying this is a cover story for the strange sighting in the sky. Well, I think this design looks way too creepy to be some kind of company blimp. It looks like this person is trying to do some repairs on their car. Maybe something's wrong with the air conditioning. Then I realize it's not a repair, it's a removal. A large snake appears to have crawled inside of the car, and the only way to get rid of it is through a game of reptilian tug-of-war. They struggle for almost 2 minutes, and lucky for him, the snake is too exhausted to strike when he drops it at 1 minute 45 seconds. Most people look for loose change while others have to look for loose snakes. This is definitely something I wasn't expecting. It goes to show you never really know what's lurking in your car. While exploring a haunted farmhouse alone, Dan from Nighthawk's Paranormal hears something present.
Make it fall forwards or backwards. I'll just push it up.
You can hear faint footsteps, but when Dan looks over the landing, no one is there. Dan hears numerous other sounds in the house, including a male voice talking.
You could move the phone, could think, could.
And strange whispers.
What the flipping it was that? Please tell me you heard that noise then.
I definitely get creepy vibes from this place, and wouldn't doubt that spirits are abound. All the unnerving whispers and unexplained noises do suggest the presence of John Penswick or some other spirit. What do you think is the case? A team of ghost investigators patrol through a dark farmhouse at 3 a.m. and set up their equipment. Suddenly, their thoughts are interrupted by an overwhelmingly powerful force.
To jump upstairs.
What's that?
What was that?
An adjacent door flies open soon as they shine their flashlight up into the attic. The team feels like they are being watched from something outside. They're talking about what to do next when they witness another display of brute force.
And we get to experience an EVP session in a creepy abandoned house. And
something smashes the window out and they see what appears to be a white apparition slowly walking away. The object has no distinct shape and somehow seems to be both near and far at the same time.
what the was that? Holy shit! Somebody out there!
All of them scramble to the car and take one last look as they leave. It's really hard to see, but zoom in on the window and you'll see a head move away on the left side. Let me know if you see what I mean or not. Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Kane Sweet 2000. This Redditor wrote, "Hi all, we moved into a council house since January, and we had some very strange things happening. We have a vintage radio and it has been making some strange noises. The weird thing is there isn't any batteries inside it." Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about.
Fish?
Shot. Benda. Shot. What's that?
There was certainly some debate about this video in the comments. La Chiflada wrote, "That's really strange." Well, GameCat UK wrote, "Where is the radio in the video? Do you have a picture? I have a feeling it's a rare example of an old semiconductor picking up on local radio waves, though the amplification is baffling. I think the radio is that thing in the bottom left corner at the 5-second mark. Which side are you on here? Let me know in the comments." While staying overnight in a house with a poltergeist, you're bound to develop insomnia. YouTube Team Toppy is up all night in this poltergeist apartment. Bumps in the night occur while the couple is sleeping at around 2 a.m. Listen closely. Through a spirit box, they ask the ghosts why they want them out, and this is their response.
Скажите, пожалуйста, почему меня просят уехать домой?
More footage while they sleep captures additional noises, including a whistle. And more bumps in the night are heard. Then it sounds like someone is clapping. A struggle unfolds in the kitchen. And then the sounds return to the room.
Shooting.
These noises continue throughout the night over more than 5 hours of recording. Aside from the paranormal, the only thing I can think of that may be making these noises is rodents. So what do you think? Is this house infested by rats? Route 666 in Ohio is well known for all sorts of paranormal sightings, such as hitchhikers without a face and other demonic entities. With this in mind, a YouTuber named The Planet Earth decides to take a long drive down Route 666 at night and records everything with his dash cam. The entire 17-minute video is rife with fear and suspense as this YouTuber thinks he sees something multiple times and bravely stops the car to investigate. One part of the video is particularly concerning. Keep your eyes on the left side and tell me if you see anything weird in the darkness.
Okay. What is that? What's going towards?
I'm not sure if this is just a reflection of a road sign or something, but there appears to be 2 glowing eyes on the left side of the road. If these are reflective markers, then I'm not sure why someone would bother putting 2 of them in the middle of nowhere like that. With all of the rumors surrounding Route 666, I wouldn't be surprised if this red pair of eyes belonged to something supernatural, waiting for the next car to break down. This video was recently taken in Malaysia on a cell phone. Whereas UFO footage is blurry and far away, there's no mistaking what this object is supposed to be in this video. The UFO passes over a house and then takes off in the distance. A short while later, this other footage was taken. The UFO turns sideways and appears to be observing them through a bright white light in the center. It regards them for a moment longer and then the video ends. Overall, it's hard to say if this is a fake video or genuine UFO activity. Most of the comments in the video tend to favor that this really happened. Have you ever felt like you were being watched? Published to YouTube by Mo Vlogs in July of 2018. This CCTV footage will spook even the bravest among us. While most of this video is super upbeat, about 10 minutes in is where the terror enters. It's then that Mo claims that he was being watched the day prior while taping his vlog, and he has the CCTV footage to prove it. He says there was a spooky person in a mask following him all day. Although Mo admits he thinks it was a prank, he pulls up the CCTV footage of this spooky lurker to show viewers what he had to contend with. The lurker appears to be wearing a black hooded robe and a white mask, walking at a gilded gate. He is seen crossing a parking lot, though it's not clear from whence he came from or where he is going. Mo says the footage was filmed that morning, not the day prior, so he surmises that the only person the lurker could be is his security guard or his mom. Prank or not, this haunting image is sure to give you nightmares. A Facebook user named Andrea Collins believes one of her security cameras caught a ghost late in the afternoon on March 22nd of this year. And after taking a look at the evidence for myself, I think she's right. Ordinarily, I would say that this is a bug crawling across the camera, except in this case it looks like a little ghost girl with a white dress and long black hair. It's also positioned perfectly in the middle of the screen, exactly where a human would stand, so my bet is that this is an apparition seeking help, or at least some attention. And if this is what Andrea sees in her yard, then chances are her house is haunted too. Amber sees a ghost on TikTok while using a new ghost hunting tool called Reality Ripple. It's a TikTok filter that creates psychedelic colors around people in the paranormal as well. Soon colors flash when no one is there, and it looks like a ghost is in the hall with Amber and her friend. It happens for a few seconds and then it's gone, or so they think. A part of the corner remains an odd color and stays with them like a ghost is lingering nearby.
What's that?
It's
If you're
right
recording-
there. You can see it in the corner. Oh my. Right there. Do you see it? Yes. Okay, we're in a piece. Okay.
Stay here.
Sometime later, Amber is by herself when a passing chill leaves her legs freezing cold. She opens TikTok, and when she looks up, a wave of energy ripples through her and registers on the chair as a shadow person.
It feels like my leg is ice cold right now. Like I already got up earlier because it felt like something was like ice cold laying on my legs.
Not only do I see the legs, but I can see the head and maybe even a scary face too.
I cannot.
Douglas Daniel has caught two scary moments on camera. One is pretty obvious while the other is for the most observant eye, so don't blink.
You're gonna go!
A rock slide bangs a barrier open before this guy even has a chance to take their hands out of his pockets to protect himself. And if that was one of the smaller rocks, think about what any of the larger ones would have done to him. He isn't the only lucky person in this video. A rock climber is right next to the action when the rocks let loose. I wonder if something they did caused this to happen. If so, I can only imagine how bad they would have felt if somebody got hurt because of their mistake. When a shadow passes through your security footage, you know you're not alone. Posted by Lily Monique to the Chills Narrator subreddit. Lily shares that her uncle David and her father work for mall security. She writes, "This is what my dad and uncle caught on mall security cameras where they work in the middle of the night in the parking lot. The video shows David standing in the middle of the empty lot. He remains there in the light, and no one at all is around, but then a shadow passes close to the camera, completely blocking him from view for a moment. It almost looks as if a figure glided directly in front of the security camera. If I were David, I'd be looking over my shoulder in that parking garage. A YouTuber named Tanner Shelton is trying to clear his mind by making a TikTok video at the mall when he accidentally records a phantom figure that disappears after a brief but horrifying moment.
Hey guys, so I decided to just get out of the house today. I think it's probably good for me to keep my mind off of things and just...
She has long black hair over her eyes and a white outfit, and the way she is rooted in place hardly looks like an ordinary shopper going about their day. He admittedly does give her ample time to go back around the corner, so this could have been planned. Blake Dunkley wants to document this old haunted grocery store, and he challenges you to prove him wrong. Noises always seem to be coming from one room away.
You hearing this? It's the creepiest building I've ever been in.
Some much more obvious than others. He heads up the stairwell to prove that this is real. I think this next part sounds like a door slamming shut from somewhere above, and I also think it sounds like he needed to get the heck out of there. On the second floor is a single door that is locked when Blake tries it. This is the only door heavy enough to cause the slamming noises coming from upstairs before, but it doesn't even open. The only areas left to check out are the break room and bathroom. Nothing of interest is in here, so he's just about to leave when he hears one final sound.
And noises.
In my opinion, this is the same door that was locked moments ago, now slamming one more time. The last place you want to hear screaming is in a cemetery, in the darkness of night. That's what YouTuber Thrills heard when he was visiting Fox Island Cemetery, which is said to be haunted by a man in black. As they first enter the cemetery, they hear an unexplained hissing noise.
I will say the other camera is a lot easier to hold.
What the heck is that?
It's not, yeah, not, I heard that too.
And soon the screaming starts.
Did you hear it again?
Yeah, I just heard it.
After moving along, they hear the screaming a second time.
It's this way too.
I definitely just heard something, yeah.
And then a third directly after.
I definitely just heard something, yeah.
While this might be a wild animal or someone just hollering for the fun of it, it could also be the legendary Man in Black. I think he might just be toying with them. You're exploring a dark underground mine, water dripping, echoes, silence, and then you hear this. Posted to the Ghosts subreddit by Resurrect. The Redditor was on an adventure through the Dissido mine in Arizona when he heard what he describes as footsteps on wood coming from deep within the tunnel. He says he and his crew were the only ones there at the time. Would you hightail it out of there or wait to see who or what was approaching? Well, most in the comments are already racing for the hills. Redditor JD250 offers a potential explanation. He writes, "When I was a kid, I lived up in Tennessee right on an old mine used by the town for storing stuff in the early 1800s, and I would hear sounds like these." Although JD says that he doesn't personally believe in ghosts, he admits to sensing the presence of pain and suffering in a place. On another note, the Redditor felt angry and hostile vibes in the place and insisted that it felt like something terrible had occurred in that mine, and he didn't want to know what it was. He also notes that his stepfather felt he couldn't breathe at one point, and not from overexertion. Do you think this could be explained naturally? Or is something haunting this mining tunnel? Wherever you stand, myself and most agree that this is one of the creepiest videos posted. While visiting the morgue of this abandoned hospital, YouTubers The Fam and Oh My Gosh TV start to feel very cold. Their search begins outside, where James shares some of the horrifying history of this place.
Looked up some pictures of this place, and there used to be about 2,000 crosses right here. So they actually buried the dead bodies right here. And I'm a little worried because it looks like they were dug up or something. I don't know exactly what happened, but...
As they continue inside, he's shocked that he barely missed stepping to his demise.
Yeah, that's electrical panels. Okay.
What? Oh, I didn't even see that. What the? You just. Whoa! How did it?
Alright, look, new rule. You have to stand right by my side, okay?
They then hear something creepy.
I heard that.
I heard a noise. I don't know what it was.
Well, I didn't hear what they did. The next noise is undeniable.
Oh no. I don't know. I don't know, dude. Was it finale?
I can't say for sure, but after hearing that, I'd surmise that there's something very much alive in this abandoned morgue. This woman looks like she's stretching at first, but soon you realize that something's off. Posted to TikTok by Delsry Octave, the woman is bracing herself against a door frame. It seems like she's stretching her legs. Then, while chanting, she tries to enter the room. One leg drags uselessly behind her. As she moves forward, she retrieves a few items before the outstretched leg is dragged from beneath her. She is dragged down completely from the room. What's happening here? Is she possessed? Most in the comments think so. What do you think is going on here? A YouTuber named Leviathan is on a hiking trip when he hears strange noises in the distance. Just when he seriously suspects that he's not alone in the woods, a series of large footprints confirms his suspicions. He now fears for his safety and has already decided to leave when he hears the same noises again, much closer now than before. The predatory call encourages him to make a quick retreat back to civilization. Leviathan still has no idea what was making this noise, or exactly how large it was. A person is walking through the forest when a strong feeling of paranoia guides them to this moss-covered opening. They can sense something odd is near, but only when watching the video later do they realize how close it really was. A broad face with a wild flat nose and open mouth stares back at them. This is a troll caught on camera, says the internet, but the alleged troll sighting looks more like a natural formation in the bark, so I can't say that I agree. While exploring the Broken Bow Asylum alone, YouTuber Haunt Row TV captures this creepy message on the wall. And then they hear a spirit's voice. Listen closely. Although the voice is faint, I do hear it. The other noises are much louder and without explanation. What do you think is here? I think it's a trapped soul. What do you expect to encounter inside a morgue but the passed away? Published by Kay in September of 2016, this exploration of a haunted abandoned morgue turns cold. Kay and crew arrive at the morgue at night, wandering around it and find a way in. They enter through a piece of metal exterior that has been ripped off. While exploring, they come across the beds where the people are examined.
Oh my god, that's the death beds. Wait, mate. That's my fucking death beds.
They also spot a creepy message on the wall that reads, "You're not supposed to be here. We will get you." In another room, dripping in red liquid, is the word beware.
Why does it say beware? What the f is? What?
Beware of what? Let's see. Down a hallway, they find a mattress on the floor. Apparently, someone is calling this mortuary home.
Just trying to torture it.
Is that a microwave here?
They then come across what might be the crematorium, or maybe just where the passed on are kept waiting.
Oh my god, mate, what are these doors? What is kept in there?
At one point, when they've just entered another room, one of the crew turns quickly around and pushes his friends back the other way. That's when they hurry out of the morgue. Kay explains that what he saw in the last room was the shadow of a man on the floor. When he entered, the man got up and glass started cracking. Was it the man whose bed they saw in the hallway? Or was this a ghost that was about to cause true havoc? A bottle of cleaning solution is far from scary until it moves across the counter on its own. The clerk has his back turned, so it's not him. It never moves when he's looking. He can sense something strange, but when he turns around, the object stops. He probably has the bottle out because he wiped the counter down. If the surface is still wet, then that could be why the object is sliding towards him. But if that were the reason, then why would it stop moving every time he turns around? That part seems more like a ghost is messing with him. So is our freaked out friend in India really working front desk at a haunted office building? Based on the weird things caught on CCTV, I really think the evidence presents a strong case for the paranormal. A YouTuber named Dylan Richardson is teaching his dog how to speak when his creepy next-door neighbor, who is apparently annoyed by the barking dog, decides to stare at everyone through his window instead of knocking on the front door. The neighbor could have mental problems because he is looking into this home with no shirt on despite the cold weather. They chase him away, but he literally vanishes around the side of the house without a trace. No camera editing or anything. That's when Dylan's friend gets this idea. I guess this neighbor wanted to get frostbite more than he wanted to get caught. I don't know how he could possibly manage to perfectly burrow under the snow in 3 seconds without leaving any footprints behind. So I'm gonna say this creepy neighbor video, while strange and entertaining, is made up. The shadow hunters from Brazil go exploring the woods for an abandoned house haunted by an angry poltergeist. It's a long walk through darkness to find it, but when they do, they go sprinting up to its yellow walls to try and catch the poltergeist by surprise. They walk around the perimeter of the poltergeist house and find something else that leaves him extremely freaked out and regretting their decision to come here at night.
Tem nada aí não, mano. Tem alguém aí? Tem vela aqui também. Nossa! Amigo do céu.
On the ground are more candles and a sheet that was something strangely shaped underneath of it. Candles surround the object on all sides and give me a bad feeling that something has gone really wrong here. Whatever's been covered with a sheet is not moving and shows no signs of life. They go inside for a closer look but do not dare lift up the sheet and see what's inside. What do you think was under there? If the legends were true about this poltergeist being a summoner, then I think we all know the answer. They might have set this all up for a video, but I don't think so. He doesn't waste any time ending this video and calling the police.
There's a back.
Allahu Akbar.
On February 3rd, 2020, a bizarre video was posted on Twitter showing some strange activity caused by mysterious things in the sky, weird lines like some kind of wavelengths projecting outwards. A Twitter user posted the mysterious video because he says it needs explaining. He says this is electromagnetic interference of some kind, but has no idea what it could be from. If this is a result of EMF radiation, then the source is giving off a giant amount and must be large itself in return. Tell me if you think you know what's happening here, because it's been over a year and the mysterious event he caught on video still cannot be explained. A YouTuber named Lawrence Ryan takes off his shirt and throws it over a shelf. A while later, he returns to the area and now finds the discarded piece of laundry has somehow shifted into a face. This shift continues before his very eyes until Lawrence grabs a camera to document the paranormal event. The shirt takes the appearance of a grinning demonic face who is looking down and to the left. If you don't see it yet, you soon will. The transformation is not yet fully complete. The camera goes out of focus very briefly as Lawrence struggles to zoom in while walking closer. And when the camera corrects itself and comes back into play, the face is changed again. Pause at 1 minute and 47 seconds into the video, and you will see it now has a very deep ceased brow, a sharp angular nose, and a strange expression that looks like a cross between a frown and a smirk. I really don't see how any of this is possible, but then again, if it's fake, then I don't know how they did it either. The shirt is hanging from a shelf and should not hold any form at all. If they tried to somehow fold it into the shape of a face, I don't think it would stay like that for long. This mother is relaxing on the patio when a loud boom startles her pretty badly. No, I said loud. The boom is so large it rocks the camera and briefly lights up the room despite it being in the middle of the day. I really hope Chris knew what he was doing, because that sounded like it was way too close to the house. Well, driverless cars are a thing. I don't think this is one of them. Published in April of 2013, a mysterious vehicle is going berserk as it pulls up to the toll booth. The car's lights are flashing on and off as it drives forward. The toll booth operator holds out his hand, apparently not paying attention at first, but then he sees the most astonishing thing. There's no one in the driver's seat. The toll booth man stands up from his chair, leaning out toward the car in shock. You can see the steering wheel spin round, moving back and forth. There's no one in the seat, nor in the passenger seat, nor the back seat. The toll booth man exits his booth and stands in front of the vehicle looking in. That's when this creepy being climbs up the rear window. Dark hair, pale as a ghost, definite the Ring Girl vibes. The mysterious figure causes the toll booth man to fall on the ground in fear. He quickly rushes off screen, and that thing on the rear window keeps on climbing toward the roof before sinking again out of sight. Is this video real? If so, I don't think things ended well for this toll booth worker. An urban exploration channel called JJ Retro is exploring an abandoned house on the edge of an English village late at night. You can tell he's nervous just standing at the entrance of this creepy estate.
Time to come exploring somewhere like this because we're in the middle of nowhere, on the outskirts of Slinfold, at this rather creepy house. And there's a sort of haunted feel to it.
Outside, they find a spooky tree with a rope slung over the branch and a plank of wood to step off of. I don't think we need to spend much time explaining what kind of scary events happened here. And when they start exploring the inside, every room fills them with a renewed sense of dread.
Yeah, this is creepy. This is probably the creepiest building we've done so far in our urban exploring career.
They try to joke their way out of how scary this urban exploration is, but eventually they have to admit they are getting spooked by something paranormal in the house with them. Weird noises are coming from upstairs, or so they say, but to be honest, I don't hear anything.
Jane, what the f*** is that noise?
It's quite dark upstairs.
But as they slowly creep up the stairs, I can actually hear the weird sound, and that's when they get it. The creepy encounter caught on camera that they were all looking for.
Bring your chin.
Whoa. It's around. No.
Hello?
And that's when, with all of them on the steps mind you, the urban explorers see a rocking chair moving on its own.
Come on. And that was the haunted house here in Slinfold, and we're
Since part of the chair is hidden by the doorway, maybe somebody was off camera making the chair move. Otherwise, this place is definitely haunted. A scary ghost video from other studios has people wondering what's even real anymore. Normally, I'm hesitant about any channel that has studio or production in the name for obvious reasons, but as one person commented, this video looks compelling. This channel says they have a studio in the name because they produce beats, not ghost videos. Okay, valid reason. Let's look. So his friend Cody has been experiencing some weird activity that he thinks could be paranormal. Creepy stuff like the sink running and flickering lights with no one touching the switch. Cody soon got into the habit of recording video whenever he was in the house, just so he could have some evidence to show his friends to prove he's not a liar. This short clip is one of his most terrifying for sure.
Nope.
He comes back to a trashed kitchen after stepping out to talk to his girlfriend on the phone for 15 minutes. Everyone can see the open cabinets and tilted chair, but only Cody noticed the figure peering at him from the very top of a tall doorway at an impossible angle. He says the resolution is higher on the original video, and this is what the still image looks like without the compression from uploading on YouTube. The difference between the two is so major that I'm almost positive this has to be a Photoshop. But if it's real, you should never walk into that room again, or the whole house for that matter. Shand Ali Jot is a ghost hunting fashion model with a YouTube channel based out of Pakistan. Look what happens moments after he is caught on camera getting chills.
Yeah.
A low-flying bat distracts them long enough to turn their back to a boarded-up window. Something bangs on this barricade from the other side. They stand in the center of the room more than an arm's length away from everything in sight. The ghost always seems to wait until their back is turned before it throws open a door or a window. They put a scroll in front of the fireplace, and the evil spirit sets the parchment on fire out of disapproval. The way it goes out is just as unnatural as the way it begins. None of them did anything to cause this that I can see. It's as if it spontaneously combusted. As they examine the door, this YouTuber is thrown into the wall by a paranormal force. It doesn't look like he jumped into the wall either. His head is up and his arms are down as if he's being held by the neck. As he lays gasping on the ground, one of their cameras captures the fireplace silently roaring back to life, like it's feeding off of their fear. Meanwhile, this final ghost sighting is caught on tape in the far corner of the room. It might be edited, but based on all of the other creepy paranormal evidence, I wouldn't be surprised if it was real. Here's a scary basement we should all probably get out of. Published to YouTube by an everyday Canadian in April of 2016. The Canadian says in the clip he heard a banging in the basement that wasn't the washer or dryer. His kids are asleep upstairs, and he's freaked out about the sounds coming from below. As he heads downstairs to the unfinished basement, you hear immediately what he's talking about. A loud bang in the darkness is heard off to his right. Still, he continues to descend. After turning his light on, he scans the room. The light catches a small toy shopping cart in one corner of the room that's apparently not supposed to be there, judging by the man's reaction. The little cart then starts moving on its own before zooming across the room towards him.
What the was that? What the
This is where the video ends abruptly. We hope that the everyday Canadian made it out alive. A Reddit user named Never2 shared the following video hoping for some potential answers as to what his mother captured on her driveway security camera late one night. What starts off as a simple piece of home surveillance footage quickly turns into something utterly pulse-pounding, as you will soon see. Wow. So I'm just going to pause it again once it comes on screen here. We see a couple orbs just kind of flying around, but right here, this sort of ghostly presence starts here, disappears again, completely off screen, but is going to come back again right here and just kind of float off into the distance. I think what's especially freaky is that part right here where it's almost like the security camera glitches out and you can see it just a bit better once it does, which is just freaky to me. Kind of goes back and forth there and then is just completely off screen to not be seen again. Just super creepy stuff. The strange figure's appearance on camera alone would be enough for some people to believe this is a paranormal entity, which is very understandable. But then again, it could be explained as a camera trick. But as soon as this strange flickering happens off to the left side of the screen, it is certainly hard to pass this off as anything but a ghost. Usually ghost videos are fairly hotly debated, but the comment section on this particular Reddit post seems to be in agreement that something odd was captured on the OP's mom's home surveillance camera. Whatever it is exactly, though, is still uncertain. YouTuber Tyler Blanchard says he's scientifically proven that ghosts are real. Let's see how. After hanging a painting, the crew enters the next room when this happens.
How is this? Look at it. That painting stitched me out too. Which painting? It looks like somebody said
The painting looks securely hung, so it's mysterious how it would fly off the wall like that. Watch again. What's even stranger is it's on a wall that's not facing the walkway, so it's not like they brushed past the painting and caused it to fall. What do you think is going on here? Was the painting just hung poorly? Or did this team actually scientifically prove that ghosts are real? I think we need more evidence to make this theory law. The Terror Al Extremo crew wanders the abandoned grounds of this haunted witch's house. In the middle of a forest, they hear a shrill shriek. Well, it could be human, it could also be harmless. It sounds like a bird call, but shortly after, a figure that they capture in a window seems to suggest otherwise. Are the legends true? Is this the witch that's said to haunt this place? I'm starting to think that it wasn't a bird. Most of the passengers have on headsets and are watching a mid-flight movie, but one of them sees a reoccurring image and takes out their phone. This brief clip is the final instance of what they saw. Floating up from one of the seats is a formless mist that briefly swirls into the shape of a twisted face and disappears. All airlines are smoke-free nowadays, but I suppose that could be another possibility. This is an Estes session gone wrong. YouTube team outsider Paranormal SWPA awakens something in the Denny house that they'll soon wish would go back to sleep. First, some loud banging.
You're an old man? Tell him.
The truck. What's up, the truck?
And one more.
Who you are, and he will tell us.
As one of the team checks to see what's going on in the kitchen, this happens.
Someone just walked by me. What? Oh, dude,
And then a door alarm goes off.
Dude, what? Take your stuff off. What? Take your stuff off.
That was upstairs. Do you hear that?
Did the work thing?
The door thing just went off upstairs.
When they attempt to enter the kitchen, this happens.
Stick your hand out and walk through the kitchen.
Why?
It's blocked.
Oh my! We kept hearing stuff.
And soon they discover what's blocking it.
That table.
What? How did it get like that? Idiot stayed without your door.
It moved the table.
According to the team, there were no footprints in the snow outside the entry door, and they also checked with the neighbors to see if they'd seen anyone, but nobody had. So who tried to block their exit? I think a spirit blocked them in. And if so, they may have had even more nefarious intentions than what was captured here. This Iraqi child is unique from her peers in many different ways, because her skin and hair have no pigmentation at all, but most importantly, her eyes are pure red. The reason she squints into the camera is because her red eyes absorb all of the light instead of reflecting it. Her parents see this rare eye color as a blessing, but some see it as a curse. After all, red eyes are a nearly universal sign of possession in many cultures, though I doubt this is the case here. Some superstitious folks will no doubt be wary of her before they have a chance to better understand. Her red eyes will stay this way for the rest of her life, and hopefully cause her no social stigma. There's a phantom haunting this women's bathroom, and she doesn't like being disturbed. Posted to the r/paranormal encounter subreddit by Kiraxis. This entity was captured in a women's bathroom in Colombia. The footage shows an empty building at night. Something can be heard causing a disturbance in the bathroom.
Estoy nuevamente aquí, en la puerta del baño.
The security guard looks up and down both hallways. He then approaches the bathroom where he finds that the noise is the faucet shutting on and off.
Se prenden las luces. ¿Está jugando con la llave? ¿Ah?
At first, you think that could easily be explained away by some technical malfunction, but then one of the air dryers is triggered too.
Jugando con la llave.
After a moment, a door from one of the bathroom stalls slams shut, and that's the last straw for the security guard.
Necesito otra prueba. Ay, marica.
He flees the scene. Could this be the real-life version of the fictional Moaning Myrtle? Whoever it is, they sure chose a strange place in which to spend eternity. This video, titled Proof They Do Exist, Ghost Swinging on Lights, was taken at a body repair shop at an undisclosed location. There are only 2 fans, both off. One is even pointed at the ground, yet this light is going crazy. It's even weirder when you see that both the next light over and the one furthest away are hanging still as can be. Here's another video of the shop taken on a different day. Watch for anything weird and tell me what you find, because I see nothing to cause this. There are no vents in the ceiling. So what could this be? While camping in a haunted forest at night, YouTuber Jasko experiences a paranormal microaggression. Just watch.
Can you come closer to us and like let us know? Oh, what the f? Dude, what the f? What the just happened?
Whatever is in that dark forest, listen to Jasko's request, and then some.
Like, let us know. Like, let us know.
That looked really legit to me, especially due to the fact that he's holding his cell phone, which could have been water damaged. Who would risk it? Not many people can say they've been roughed up by a demon, but I think Jasko can. This video comes from the haunted Farside Lounge in Colorado. A woman sitting in the bottom corner is the closest person to what you're about to see, and both her hands are full. And yet this remote seemingly moves all by itself. It's as if something is picking this up, moving it slightly, and putting it back down. Meanwhile, the drink next to it stays perfectly still. She even notices it at the very end. So this is one of those problems that is either completely spontaneous or where everyone is in on it and plays along. The problem is I don't know which. What goes up must come down. Posted by V. Fieldson on TikTok, as Fieldson walks beside a house, capturing a bicycle lying in the middle of the sidewalk. He pulls the shot upright, catching the roof of the house in frame. Someone is up there watching him. The watcher appears to be filming him too. At least he seems to be holding something with a light on. He rushes from view, and darkness envelopes him. Of course, this is TikTok, so that's where the clip ends. However, as we know, what goes up must come down. After all, he's got to come down from that rooftop eventually. Mackie and Amanda are about to enter the most haunted place in Orange County. While exploring the house, they hear strange noises. One of their paranormal devices goes off, and at the same time, they hear something in the distance.
So if anyone's trying...
While they're searching in the bathroom, this happens.
Did someone just make a noise in here?
What is that? What is that? No, I can hear it behind me though. It sounds like... I don't even know.
A whisper is heard.
Well, I was gonna say, if any spirits are up here with...
What's that, man?
Someone whispered, did it not?
Yeah, it sounded like something.
And then footsteps.
There's like so many noises and stuff happening, and you just...
Something just touched my bear.
The bear continues to be paranormally activated.
Yeah, maybe we should move the music box down to closer to her room so that it can catch up. It picked up.
And then they notice something.
What the? There's like an ambulance.
Like a doctor?
Yes. Yes.
Is this one of the doctor's unfortunate patients? I think it might be. And I think they passed away with unfinished business. This dashcam video was supposedly taken near Hanoi, Vietnam, and was posted on Facebook where it spread to the local news. In it, the car soon pulls up to a figure dressed in all white standing in the middle of the road. The drivers are quite concerned that this individual is standing in the middle of a pitch-black road, alone besides one street light above. They don't ask the person anything. Instead, they quickly drive away. While many online thought it was a ghost of some kind, news agencies have said that this was a woman who is not mentally well and was possibly attempting to take her own life. Let's hope she got the help she needed before it was too late. Do you believe in the paranormal? Are you paranoid someone's watching? Then the paranormal paranoids are here to guide you. Introducing your guides, Peter, Laura, David, and Riley. These videos were posted by the Twitter account Just the Paranoid. The first video is set in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. The crew enters a wooded area, and Riley explains why they're here. She says that to the locals, these woods are a setting for a sinister story.
To most people, this forest is the same as any, but to the people of Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, who remember what occurred in 1994, these woods hold a sinister story.
In 1994, a young married couple crossed paths with a lifeless body along the path. Mary Talbert had sadly taken her own life, Being that she did so on a very public path, the takeaway is that Mary wanted to be found. The group paused near the tree where it happened.
This is where it happened. It was almost as if she wanted to be found, wanted to be seen.
They pose for pictures and leave. While watching the footage back, they discovered a few things they hadn't noticed in person. Upon first entering the woods, a disembodied face appears in the trees.
I don't think it's there, Peter. Yeah.
Later, as they are leaving, the camera catches someone standing behind a tree, perhaps watching them, but the creepiest image comes as they're posing for pictures near Mary's tree. Lurking in the distance is a figure that looks as though it's wearing a cloak with something draped over its face.
Over here.
Okay.
Alright, what are we doing? Smile? Yeah. Okay.
Are you paranoid yet? If not, take a journey through Dark County Correctional Facility with the Paranormal Paranoid crew in their second video.
It all happened here, inside of these walls.
While they are wandering through, Peter is observing letters written on a window when they hear something in the next room.
God. What was that?
But they could find nothing there. They continue on, heading upstairs, where they discover a bunch of books open on a counter. They wander through the area where prisoners were kept in solitary confinement.
And the inmates that were brought here in the 1930s, they were maximum security.
Then up a narrow staircase, and back to more prison cells.
Did you do that?
Wait, did you do that?
I didn't touch anything.
Riley is leading the way when suddenly she stops and her face is full of fear.
What?
She said she suddenly felt cold, and you can literally see her breath on video.
How? You feel what?
Cold. Holy shit. Riley, what? What?
According to the crew, the camera cut out and didn't record anything for a couple minutes. When it returns, they cast a light down one hall, which shows just how far and deep this well goes.
Look at this.
How far back does that go? That's pretty cool, yeah, sorry. So, let me get this.
And just how many prisoners' stories it holds. One last tour by the Paranormal Paranoids see the crew at Lincoln Elementary, whose haunted halls have stories to tell.
So we made it. Lincoln Elementary. This school has an incredible haunted history, dating all the way back to 1976.
One morning in 1976, staff showed up to a filthy school. Although they called the janitor, there was no answer. Upon entering the janitor's closet to obtain cleaning supplies, they discovered the janitor passed away in horrific fashion. According to Riley, every bone in the janitor's body was broken, and his mop was shoved down his throat with just the strings hanging out. Ever since, the place has cycled through janitors, with no one staying long, as mysterious things kept happening. Rooms that had already been mysteriously cleaned, a solidly locked janitor's closet.
Is the legend true? David, what do you think?
I don't know.
They enter the school and for some reason head exactly where you wouldn't want to go, into the basement. That's when this happens. Though the bang terrifies them, they continue on, heading into what appears to be the boiler room. Something is clanging around. And then there's another big bang.
Don't go out by yourself, Riley.
As they panic, what they see next freaks them out even more. A quiet whistle alerts them to a figure with a white face and glowing eyes standing in a doorway.
Chill.
He shuts the door as they take off in fear up the stairs. Are the paranormal paranoids onto something? Whether or not they attract the paranormal, their paranoia seems more than justified. A YouTuber named LaxRebel225 is playing a video game at home when he hears something loudly bust through the front door. He's frantically looking from room to room when finally he hears it making a racket again, this time from the kitchen. When he crosses into the kitchen, nothing is to be found. Instead, he hears it again from behind. I'm not sure why he stomps his foot here. If he's trying to scare the creature away, it doesn't work. LaxRebel does a full circle around his home and ends up standing just outside of the kitchen again. He seems to get a bad feeling and hesitates. That's when this inhuman noise fills his house. The creature seems to say something in a chittering language that almost sounds like an evil laugh. Then it leaves his home, shutting the door behind itself. Maybe I'm just overthinking, but the alien's voice sounds very high quality, like way too good for the average YouTuber to edit into their video with home equipment. As much as I don't want to admit it, I think this video could be real based on the creepy laughter alone. Still, I'd definitely like to know what you think after watching this video. I'm especially looking for the opinions of people who have experience with audio engineering. When you're in the middle of the woods, alone and defenseless, the last thing you want to hear is this. This horrifying sound, according to its uploader, is a cougar mating call, but what it sounds like is a woman shrieking for her life in fear or inexplicable horror, coupled with the moaning horn-like sound of an unknown creature. If you hadn't been told this was a cougar, how would you feel hearing this in the middle of the woods? I mean, maybe it's just more horrifying knowing that it is a cougar, as it might just go for your face. Redditor Eli uses Reddit shares his opinion saying, hearing this without thinking it's a cougar would honestly make me blank myself, with many in the thread agreeing with that summatation. Others liken the sound to a woman having her life taken, while some think it sounds like a zombie breakout or a banshee. Further in the thread, however, Redditor the Lil Hedgehog claims that this sound is not in fact a cougar, but rather really is the sound of a woman shrieking from some police body cam footage, which has been dubbed into the video. Does anyone familiar with animal sounds know what a cougar shriek actually sounds like? Whether or not it's a cougar, I'd have to agree that if I heard this noise in the forest, I would surely panic. This trail camera captures some deer grazing when one of them pauses as if something is nearby. They look directly at the camera, and in that moment a phantom pair of eyes move in the opposite direction. I was thinking that this could be a camera glitch that somehow reflects the deer's eyes back at an angle, but the eyes can be seen briefly again at the 12-second mark, and this time it looks like the deer notices and stares directly at them with more curiosity than fear. There are also plenty of other movements where the deer is looking at the camera without the phantom eyes present, so it might not be the equipment after all. Could this be an unknown flying creature like the uploader seems to think? Some cultures believe that the forest itself develops a living spirit to watch over the creatures within, so maybe that is what we are all witnessing here. According to YouTuber Steve Ronan, this mansion used to be a hideout of an individual who ended many lives, but Steve discovered it wasn't empty. While he's in the cellar, he has a bit of a surprise.
It's a tiny, little cellar. That's creepy. Whoa! Oh my! I can see a mouse right there just staring at me.
As he's continuing to search the place, he wonders if someone's living here.
Kind of looks like this is being used, too. It's a dead cockroach on the floor. That's pretty nasty.
Soon they realize they shouldn't be here.
Okay, we should get out soon.
And this confirms it.
This is getting creepy now. This might be lab. That's what we're thinking.
And now it's time to leave.
Yeah. This was a famous artist's house.
I think a gang is using this. Let's get out.
This exploration just kept going from bad to worse. I probably would have left the minute I found out it was once the hideout of a very evil person. Another poltergeist is haunting an abandoned church, and this one isn't so playful. Published to YouTube in July of 2021, this abandoned church has some supernatural visitors. Inside the church, amongst the whistling in the wilderness, something thuds nearby. The boys hold still, trying to listen for more unexplained noises. Moments later, they are standing there, casting light on the wall, when a distant, low-pitched moan is heard in the background.
Whoa. Whoa.
Well, in what looks like a basement space with lots of old items stored, a blast of sound is heard in the next room.
Güey, ¿qué pedo?
Ven.
Güey.
Ven. Se oyó acá, se oyó allá. Se oyó allá, güey.
Something heavy and out of sight was thrown on the ground. As the boys attempt to speak to the spirit, another strange moan sounds faintly. And then a couple of shelf doors are slammed shut with great force. In another area of the haunted church, several small successive thuds are followed by a strange double beep. They quickly get away from that space. Later, when peeking around a corner, a cabinet door slowly closes. Whatever is closed isn't caught on camera. Not long after, a big heavy door slowly opens, before being jarringly half shut. They approach the door. There is nothing on the other side. As the scary video wraps up, one of the crew is taking in a dark room when they hear a faint noise in the darkness.
Como lo hicimos en aquella ocasión que entramos a este.
They look over, shining a light there but find nothing. What is following them through this church? Perhaps a demon that couldn't be redeemed? While visiting the farm of fellow paranormal investigator CJ Faison, YouTuber Chris Baird captured real phantom footage. The guys are searching a junked up storage room upstairs when something terrifies them.
Oh! Well, my light went off.
Dude.
Bro, my light went off.
Something just fell down there. It sounded like a light bulb or something just broke. What was that?
What's missing off the ceiling?
Later, in the kitchen, a freaky phantom anomaly floats toward Chris from a darkened room.
Don't attack. Okay, you can attack. Not me, just them.
What was that? There's something in this old farmhouse, and judging by the noise it made earlier, it doesn't seem welcoming to me. Hopefully these guys will take its anger seriously. All the more reason to stay out of the forest. Published to YouTube by CJ Fashion in April of 2020. The channel writes, just when I thought a haunted forest couldn't get any scarier, there was an incident inside the Pokok forest with a person. Still not sure exactly what is going on with this place, but I can tell you this. Something very weird and sketchy is going on in this forest. Pokok Forest is located in Maryland and is said to be haunted. Let's find out just how haunted it is. As the crew gets ready to enter the forest, they see a shadow speed across through the woods, and this is only the beginning. They hear something big growling and start to wonder if it could be a bear. As CJ explains, they've been at this site before and he believes his friend Sunny was possessed here. He also notes they're already hearing eerie footsteps all around. They start to explore the forest deeper, hearing noises at all angles.
This was... Oh!
As many points out, it's at around 28 minutes in that there appears to be a man standing in the forest next to a tree in the distant darkness. CJ says that their eyes are playing tricks on them, but I don't know about that. It's like the Where's Waldo of ghost hunts, and Waldo is definitely there. Can you find this unknown thing in the forest? Would you even want to? A woman by the name of Cecilia Carasso in Chile strode past the reception desk at a law office in 2015 when she was attacked by something invisible. As you watch the CCTV video, Cecilia is strolling with a young woman towards the reception desk when she reportedly felt something push her with such force that it caused her to fall backwards hard. You can see Cecilia chatting with the woman and gesturing at something when suddenly, out of nowhere, she falls flat on her back. She doesn't just slip, she absolutely appears as though she was pushed. I wasn't aware of anyone in front of me as I passed the reception desk talking to a girl, and as I looked up towards the receptionist, I suddenly felt 2 pairs of hands shove me over, Cecilia said. She later added, I hit the floor, and when I looked up, I couldn't see anybody, and I thought they must have run off. When Cecilia asked the receptionist who had pushed her, she was told that nobody had. Cecilia didn't believe the receptionist until she was shown footage of the incident. After seeing it, she was sure that she had been the victim of a ghost attack since there was absolutely nobody around her. Cecilia's doctors reported that her injuries were consistent with a fall, but that she'd also received a large blow to the head, which may have caused confusion about what she felt and about her injuries, but that doesn't explain what happened in this creepy CCTV footage.